Oops, sorry about that. Welcome to Switch Stop, the only channel where we put 80% of our effort into the intros rather than the actual video. So, Joy-Cons. We love them, we hate them, we love to hate them. What features make up this powerful little device? How has its public reception soured over the years? And does it truly deserve the amount of ridicule that it gets? Should we be more kind to this joyful little product, or does it just have too many cons? Well, you'll find out in this episode of The Good, Bad, and Ugly. First off, the good. I think we need to talk about how versatile these controllers are. Whether you're playing in handheld, the Joy-Con grip, or even on sideways Joy-Cons, they truly revolutionize the way we play games. You'll always have a second controller on hand, whether you're at a friend's house, school, or even on an airplane. It really is a game changer. You'll always be able to crush your family and friends in Mario Kart no matter where you are. It's the cornerstone of what makes the Switch the Switch. Without the Joy-Cons, the Switch can't switch. It's so iconic, in fact, that the Switch's logo is just two Joy-Cons. The Switch is nothing without the Joy-Cons. And I know you guys are probably saying, wow, the Switch switches? What a shocker. Please, Mac, tell me more. And I will. First off, let me just say the amount of colors they have been able to produce for the Switch is absolutely incredible. According to Nintendo Life, with the amount of Joy-Con colors we have as of today, there are over 250 possible combinations of colors. Personally, I like to go with the gray and red combo. I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit quirky, but... Next, we have its unique features, HD Rumble and IR camera. Unfortunately, outside of the tech demo that was 1-2 Switch and the award-winning Nintendo Labo, these features haven't been used to their fullest potential. They are very, very cool, but just seem a little bit too gimmicky. But I've got to say, that ball count minigame in 1-2 Switch is one of the coolest pieces of tech I've ever tried out. If someday they could get that technology used in HD Rumble to translate it to something in the VR realm, I could no doubt see that becoming an insane innovation. And lastly, on the topic of good, I've just got to bring up their versatileness one more time. Before the Switch, it was never possible to play these games not only on the road, but with a friend. The two controllers in one concept is something unheard of in the gaming world. That's like taking a DualShock controller, sawing it in half, and then each player takes one side of it. It just didn't seem possible before the Joy-Cons. They took the iPad, tablet, toddler gamepad from the Wii U and turned it into a killer system that is the Switch. Saying you like the Switch without the Joy-Cons is like saying you like PB&J without the bread. Without the bread, it's just a mess. When I mean bad, I don't mean bad. I mean things that annoy me greatly. Things I hate, but they're not gonna ruin my day. I still have a whole third category to get to after this, so I can't go shredding the Joy-Cons yet, but don't worry, we'll get to that. Firstly, let's talk about the size of these things. I'm a pretty average guy. Maybe a little skinny, maybe a bit lengthy, but all around, pretty average dude. So when you tell me that if I want to play a multiplayer game right out of the box, I've got to play like this? Bro, I feel like I'm holding a baby bird or something. It is way too small. And yes, this was probably designed with children in mind, but like, really? It couldn't have been like a half an inch bigger? Also, speaking of poor design, no D-pad? Like, I guess I get it when it comes to keeping the Joy-Cons like somewhat symmetrical, but I really think a D-pad on the left Joy-Con would have been a lot better. Also, another thing that really bugged me about the Switch when it first came out was its asymmetrical release of Joy-Cons. It doesn't bug me as much as it did upon release, but the release of the red and blue pairs of Joy-Cons split between the console and the Joy-Con releases annoyed me greatly. Red and blue are my favorite colors, so it should have been a no-brainer that I'd get either the red or blue Switch. But the asymmetrical blue and red Switch was just not for me. I feel like the reason they did this was so people would just pick out and go and buy more Joy-Cons to get a complete set. And, you know, they weren't completely wrong. Lastly, let's talk about that price. $80 for Joy-Cons? Hello, Nintendo, did your brain fall out? $80 for 2 Joy-Cons? I could buy an entire share of Nintendo before I even get the chance to buy a new pair of Joy-Cons. What is wrong with you? You're seriously telling me these are worth $80? A brand new Xbox controller only costs $50 on Amazon, and you have the audacity to try and sell me these hunks of plastic for $80? Okay, you know what? That's fine. But if I just needed to replace one of mine because my dog chewed them up, well, that's gonna set me back $4.99. Wait, so you're telling me that a single Joy-Con, according to Nintendo, has the same worth as an Xbox controller?
You serious?
Bro, this has got to be some practical joke. I guess it's just supply and demand, though. The more demand, the less supply, the more demand, and then boom, the price go bing. But Nintendo is really lucky they got their golden goose, because there is no way in hell they'd sell these for $80 during the Wii U era. But you know what? That's fine. I can deal with that also. Maybe I just play with the Joy-Con grip included in the box and make sure to keep my Joy-Cons in as pristine a condition as possible so I can make sure I can use them for a very long time. Surely nothing could go wrong. So this came as a surprise to absolutely no one. Joy-Con drift, or drift for short, is the mechanical flaw that affects an absurd amount of Switch users. Have you ever played a game on the Switch and felt like your controller was pulling you in a different direction? It's probably Joy-Con drift. Have you ever tried to click a certain game, but for some reason your controller just keeps pulling you to the right? Yeah, that's probably Joy-Con drift. Have you ever tried to click on your profile, but yet again, your Joy-Con pulls you away and you spend a good 20 seconds fighting with your console? Joy-Con drift. The Switch came out in 2017. It is 2021, and still, after 4.5 years, not only has Nintendo not fixed the Joy-Con drift, they don't even acknowledge it. 4.5 years of complaints from reliable news sources, and they just say it doesn't exist. Bro, this is literally the definition of gaslighting. They act like it's our fault for getting dust in the controllers, but no, just fix your damn system. They treat us as if this problem is a one-time thing that has never happened in the history of the Switch, but obviously it has. They haven't fixed it and they don't acknowledge it. But worst of all, when you try and send it in for repairs, it costs more than just buying a new pair of Joy-Cons. So, guess what? For poor craftsmanship and overall malicious business practices, they get to bank off of people who just want their Switch to work the way it was intended. Shame on you, Nintendo. Whatever happened to your Nintendo seal of quality? The company who brought video games back from the dead in the 1980s and introduced quality standards to the home video game market. Does that not matter to you anymore? I guess not. Anyways, let's not get too dramatic. Joy-Cons are still pretty cool, but they just have some glaring problems, and I think they need to be fixed. Hopefully these will get fixed in future hardware updates like the OLED or the Switch Pro, but if not, I'll just stick to my Pro controller. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye!